ranking Thunderbolts characters from worst to best after I got to see the movie early. In last place, I'm going with Taskmaster. I mean, does anybody like this version of the character? I really don't think they do. Like, she was not a good version of the character in Black Widow. The same is true in this movie. Like, nobody's gonna watch Thunderbolts and be like, you know who I really loved in that film? Taskmaster. Number 9 is Mel, I believe a brand new character for this movie. Her entire role in this movie is pretty much just being the assistant to Valentina Allegra, and it's not like she's bad in the film, and the movie tries to give her some little things to do to kind of be important to the plot, but ultimately she's just overshadowed by a bunch of the other great characters in this movie, so she's not bad. I kind of hope we see her again in the future, but just a really small role. Hit that like button real quick. But at number 7, I have Ghost, which is kind of heartbreaking for me. I absolutely love this character. I thought she was amazing in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and in this movie, it kind of just feels like she's just along for the ride. Like, all these characters, obviously, all the Thunderbolts are super screwed up. We're diving into their pasts, and I feel like they kind of just forgot to dive into anything about Ghost. Like, she literally is just, like, there. Like, her powers are just as cool as always. She has some funny, like, bickering moments with some of the other members of the Thunderbolts in the film that I did really find funny, and she's not a bad character whatsoever. Like I said, I really like this actress, and I love this character, but I just feel like if you're bringing the character back, I kind of wish she got more time to shine in this film, because, again, she definitely gets overshadowed by other characters in this movie. At number 6, I have Bucky. Now, we're definitely jumping up to characters that I do think are really good in this movie. Like, obviously, Sebastian Stan is an incredible actor, and him as Bucky is always great, and he does have some really solid moments in this movie. As you know from the trailers, the film kind of deals with him starting off as, like, this congressman, so that's an interesting angle for this character to take. He also has one of my favorite action sequences in the entire film. Like, it is just such a cool moment when he shows up in one scene. You'll definitely know what I'm talking about when you see the movie. He definitely doesn't feel like as much as a lead in the movie like I thought he was going to be. Like, it kind of starts off, you're like, oh, this movie's focusing a lot on Bucky's kind of subplot he has going on, but again, it kind of merges, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to focus a lot more on these other characters, which I don't think is bad. I really love the movie. If you haven't seen my review for it, I do think the movie's great, just not as much Bucky as I was kind of expecting, but he is very good in all the scenes he's in. And number 5 for me is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. You'll know her full name is very important to her. I absolutely love Julie Louis-Dreyfus in pretty much everything she's in, and she is absolutely hilarious in this movie. She is fully just Julia Louis-Dreyfusing it up in this, though, so if you're not a fan of her and other things, you probably won't like her in this movie, because honestly, her performance does feel a little, like, out of place almost, but for me, I really like the angle she brings and the dynamic. She is just so, like, carefree, but also scheming at the same time. She brings a ruthlessness, but also hilarity to every scene she's in, and honestly, I was just having a blast with this movie every single time she was on screen. Her dynamic with a bunch of the other characters, really entertaining stuff, and I'm just so glad that this character is a pretty big character in the MCU now with this movie. At number 4, I have the Red Guardian. David Harbour easily gets the humor MVP of this movie. Now, the film definitely knows when to balance humor and when to actually get more serious, but David Harbour, whenever the film asks him to be funny, oh my god, he delivers so much. It had the entire theater laughing at pretty much every line or physical gag he has in the entire movie, and he has a decent amount of them, and they're literally all hitting for me and everybody else in the theater. I also really just love the stuff we get between him and Yelena. Obviously, if you didn't know, he is her father, if you're one of the people that didn't watch Black Widow, and I really loved just the dynamic we get between them, some really just sweet moments between those two, but again, the humor is really what has him up this high, because a lot of the humor of the movie relies on David Harbour pulling this character off in such a goofy way, but he absolutely nails it. And number 3 for me is a huge surprise, John Walker as U.S. agent, or whatever he is. I don't even know if they call him that in the movie, but he is absolutely incredible. Now, if you haven't seen The Falcon and Winter Soldier and you don't know who this guy is, he was like the replacement Captain America before Sam Wilson actually fully took on the mantle. And honestly, I was kind of bummed that they like burned him in that show. I feel like he should have been in the 4th Captain America movie. But man, Wyatt Russell as this character is honestly just so incredible. We get to dive into his past a little bit more in this movie. His dynamic with a bunch of the other characters, a lot of his interactions, again, really funny, but also just some really great character moments that I wasn't expecting to get out of John Walker in the MCU, but I absolutely was loving his moments. Like, I actually feel like I really like and root for this guy, even though you can definitely see where he's coming from, his past, his actions. He has not been the best his entire life, but he really made me a character I want to root for still. That's really a talent as an actor. At number 2, I'm going with Yelena, and honestly, I kind of want to cheat and do like a 1A and 1B with my top 2 picks because they're both incredible, but I'm just going to put Yelena in 2nd place. But just keep in mind, both these top 2 are absolutely incredible. Florence Pugh is just one of my favorite actresses in general. She is in so many things and she's been so good in all of them. And I've always loved her version of Yelena. I thought she was great in Black Widow and the best part of that very mediocre movie. I thought she was so much fun when she popped up in the Hawkeye series, her interactions with Kate Bishop. But this movie knows, hey, we have something special with this character here to really focus in on and make her kind of the focus and main lead of this movie. And it's such a smart decision from Marvel. I hope they have Yelena like a huge centerpiece of the MCU going forward, because she's honestly an incredible character. We dive more into her past, her history, what's been happening to her, and the things she's been doing since we last saw her in the MCU, because honestly, we haven't really seen her that much. This movie really just lets you understand who Yelena is on a level that we've never gotten to see before, and it really is like the entire engine of the movie that makes it work. It's such a smart decision, like I said before, to focus this movie on her. And I know I've been saying this for like all the Thunderbolts, but it's true. Her dynamic with the rest of the team is incredible. Like, that is what makes this movie work. All these characters, the interactions, the bickering, and the like actual like chemistry they form in this movie is what makes this such a good film. At number one, though, I'm going with the man himself, Sentry. Like I said, I'm not going to go into any spoilers. I'm just going to talk about what we see in the trailers. But all I got to say is the way they handle this character, his story, absolutely perfect. The way they handle the Void is absolutely perfect. Had some of the most jaw-dropping and gasp moments in the entire theater were with the Void in this movie. Sentry is genuinely handled so perfectly. If you're worried about him being like underpowered in any way, shape, or form, do not be. I promise you, this is one of the most overpowered and intimidating characters we've ever seen in the MCU. His action sequences are absolutely amazing, and I could not believe how good this character was and how much like he's become one of my favorite MCU characters almost after one watch. So next week I'll be able to give you my full review on the movie, so make sure you're subscribed for that. But if you haven't seen my initial out of theater thoughts on my favorite parts of the film, spoiler free of course, click the video above me and check that out. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.